Hello, everybody. Good evening. It's been a hectic week. I tell you, running into March. Yes, yes. But I'm very happy to have joined with me after a long time of postponing. Not postponing, just couldn't get our diaries together. I'm just trying to unmute here. Marco, welcome, Marco. And you all would recognize him from the comments at Cliff Central. So, yeah.
Thanks for having me, Ruth. I really appreciate it for having me a guest on your show. So yeah, it's
Pleasure.
been a
Welcome,
long
welcome.
time running. Like we had said, it's always been, you know, diaries always crossed all over the place.
Sure, and I take it you have you lead a very busy life. So
Well, yeah, it can be busy. Trust me. Even though people may think I don't do much being disabled, there's a lot going on up here.
no, I can believe you. I can definitely. So yeah, tell us. Okay, so I made the mistake earlier of thinking your surname Petrovsky was Russian, but it's actually Polish.
That's
So,
correct.
but you were born in South Africa or not?
Yes, I was born in Durban, South Africa. Yeah,
Okay,
Durban, South
cool,
Africa.
Durban.
Yeah, 80s baby as well, 1985. So back in the day
Okay.
when Durban was really rocking, really rocking. 90s was, I'm sure any of those that can remember the 90s Durban, early
Sure.
2000s was awesome. It was really kicking.
I think I think all of us back we reminisce and we go, God, life was so good in our 20s. Like
Yeah,
everything
truly.
was
All
just
the
better.
transport days and yeah, it's just memories. In
Yeah.
my opinion, just technology and the internet made this place go wonky.
Yeah. So for those who are seeing you for the first time, tell us a little bit about your history and what
Yeah.
happened to you. Mm.
So, Durban, 1985, I was born in Durban, and I went to high school, went to school in Durban, two primary schools, Glenwood Preparatory, and then I went to Sherwood Primary, and then two high schools. The Pinetime boys are then George Campbell, I'm an old Campbell boy. And then, yeah, long story short, I can say my passion is definitely the gym industry, the fitness industry, the bodybuilding side of things. And that's I dove into that like head on from the age of 16,
Hmm.
um, and that's been my biggest passion up until today. But my mind's all over the place. I think just thinking what part am I going to speak about myself or about my story. Let me go
Hmm.
back again. Let me back to obviously my childhood. My
Hmm.
family is not your average. I'm born into a mixed race family, so my father was Polish from Poland, and he came down to South Africa in 1979, 78, if I'm not mistaken, and then met my mother, fell in love, head over heels with her, and wanted to get married to her. Now, being married to a colored woman in 1985, well, sorry, in the 80s was not going to happen, pretty much. And
Sure.
trust me, they actually made it happen. So, yeah, cutting a long story short, my parents got married and lived a very difficult life in a way, um, just through hardships, through times of struggle. And then when Nelson Mandela, he made it happen for everybody. He came out and he made a big change in South Africa, which made a change in my life because it made things a little bit easier in the sense where, I mean, I got changed from being white to colored in 1987, believe it or not. A lot of people
Wait,
just
wait,
think,
say that again.
sorry,
Say that again. You got traded. You got
I got
changed to.
changed from my race, got changed from colored to white in 1987. I've literally got the documents. Like it's whack. It's crazy that can even possibly happen, but it did happen. I wish we could change it back now because it would be a big benefit to me being a BEEEE, and then yeah, it would be great now, but we can't reverse it unfortunately. So
Hmm.
yeah,
Okay.
again, scattered the brain again, went all over the place. So yeah, we just went to high school. My father passed away in 2007, so that had changed things. I was 23 at that stage,
Hmm.
so still going out partying, carrying on, at that age, and then poof, just to all of a sudden he had passed away. Um, he
Hmm.
passed away from double pneumonia. So within 7 days, well, he had the flu and then he got really bad. Then went to hospital with pneumonia and then double pneumonia and he was gone. basically within 7 days. People wouldn't think that. I mean, I didn't think. I thought he had the flu. You know, I thought, oh, no, my dad's strong. He'll be okay. He'll pull through. He'll pull through. He'll pull through. He didn't pull through. He just didn't pull through. And trust me, I didn't expect it. I'm sure he got him if they've had a loss of anyone or parent. If you didn't expect, I did not expect that. That's for sure. And so that's when my
Shock.
life really. That's when my life really changed. I was like, whoa! Instantly, I had to man up straight away because my mother she wasn't well. She was sickly. She had high anxiety and yeah, just a whole lot. She went through a lot in her life as well. So yeah, when he had left, I realized that wake up, Mark, it's time to rise and shine. You have to pay the bills. You have to get things going. My sisters did definitely. They did help. They were there. They were there the whole way through. And then, yeah, as time goes by, everyone lives their own life. So, yeah, I had to also live my life, but my life with my mother, just within an instant. So I dove into work and into my training. I literally worked 7 days a week. Geez, that was 2007, 2008, 2009. Yeah, I worked for 3 years, literally 2.5 years, 7 days a week, and that's not a lie. It was
Sure.
pretty crazy, and I was just also training. So it was work, training, work, training, work, training, work, training.
Mm-hmm.
So when was it? Yeah, in 2007, I decided to enter my first show, which was a fitness modeling pageant, not bodybuilding. I
Okay.
was into the whole like pretty boy type of thing. It was very new back then, so yeah, I was approached by a bikini athlete by the name of Tammy Jackson. Back then, she was a pro, and she had said, you got what looks for this type of pageant. And I thought this, walking on a ramp, this whole modeling thing, this is not for me. She said, oh, there's something out of it. I said, what do you get out of it? 10,000 Rand. Well, I'm in for it. I need that 10K. So at that time, I was like, 10K is going to make a world of a difference for me.
For
So
sure.
let me use what I'm training for something to get that money. So that was my main goal. And yes, I did. I won the show, which was awesome. My family was there, my mom was there, and it was crazy because hearing her scream my name, that's my son, that's my son, that's my son, like, it's awesome. And I didn't expect it, especially at first win, or even the first and second win. When they ask who's the winner, and all of a sudden you have people you never know shouting out your name, and like then my
Sure.
mom's like, my boy is the winner. I'm like, oh shit. And yeah, so that was cool. That was awesome. And
Mm-hmm.
then my mom, I left for Cape Town. So I moved from Durban to Cape Town in 2010,
Mm-hmm.
and my mom had passed away in 2012, and that was very tragic passing away.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, I got a phone call from one of my sisters saying that she's missing. She had been missing for 2 weeks. So for anyone to hear that, it's traumatic. It's like what? And so I jumped onto a plane. They got me a ticket to go through to Durban and to see what's going on. Where is she? What's the story? So flew over, was looking around, didn't really know where to look or what to do. I mean, what do you do? Where do you go? You don't really know, except for the police
Mm.
station, of course, and the hospital or the mortuary, something like that. So I went to the police station, looked around. Um, the one place I didn't go was the most obvious place to go was the hospital. Drove past it, I think literally remember about drove past it 4 or 5 times, Addington Hospital in Durban, and looked at it, and for some reason, I don't know why. Well, there's always a reason why I didn't go through there. And the day I left Durban, literally the day, believe it or not, my sister actually told me not too long ago, the exact time, 10:30 my flight that I flew off, she passed away in the hospital. And I actually will never forget telling my friend, I was speaking to one of my friends, I said, if if I don't find her, then she's not around. And that's what happened. Exactly as I flew off, so did she. So we both went into the air at the same time. And may have a smile on my face, but hey, we're together going up there.
Yeah.
And that was 2012. and then again, I put my head down into training. I hadn't competed for a while. There was a show coming up. You could win your pro status. And I was like, sure, let me do this. Let me go in. Let's go all out. I had the support for many years. So I put my head in, and I actually won my pro card in 2013. That was in May 2013.
Okay. And what were you like? What I don't know how it works necessarily in with bodybuilding, but what was your weight at that time? Like your
2013, competitively competing in 2013, I was 81 kgs. Yeah. 2008, when I first competed, I was 79 kgs. So I only put on like
okay.
3 kgs of, some muscle.
Okay. But from your Instagram, like some of the photos, you look, I don't know, maybe it's the angle, but you were big. Like I think you
Yeah, a lot of people said I was actually bigger than my photos. So I don't know how true that is. Yeah,
okay.
not to
Well,
boast any doubt. A lot of people say big is certain look or stuff like that. But for me, I thought I was just average size. Bodybuilders are massive. Those guys are huge. And I
yeah,
didn't want to look like that. I just wanted to be a buff guy. Call it a buff guy.
a
A
buff
little bit
guy.
bigger than your average sports look. Just a notch up. Because I mean, the training is different. I mean, the training I did was bodybuilding training. Strength training was really, really heavy training with
Sure,
complete strength form. I was a personal trainer as well. So
sure.
yeah, it was my thing.
How many, like, would
Yeah.
you say what you'd spend 4 hours at a gym every day, at
No,
least?
no, 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 no. I trained for 50 minutes. 50 an hour's maximum. 50 minutes was my workout. And
Okay,
I trained once a day, sometimes twice a day. Sometimes I train 6 days a week, sometimes 7 days a week. I call it my seventh day was my rest day, but I still go in and train arms. But yeah.
hmm. Okay.
Oh, yes, I
And
was in 2000, we had 2013 when I won my show. Sorry to jump in. And
mm,
then I had my accident in December. So that's when another curveball came in. So within a space of 5 years, I'd lost both my parents, moved to Cape Town, and became disabled. Very, very, very quick.
sure. Yeah. So I mean, okay. So your whole life changed. Had you met your stunning wife yet?
No, no, no. I was engaged at the time in 2013,
Mm-hmm.
and just relationship that ended all over, left, right, and center, with friends, and unfortunately with her. It's just things happen. Life moves on, and I didn't. No one expected for it to happen, and they don't know what to expect, especially at that time. I mean, the first 2 years, I was literally a zombie. The reason why I say that because I was on Valium 3 times a day, morning, midday, and night. I
Yes.
didn't know I shouldn't be taking it. I literally did not know. Honestly, didn't even know I shouldn't be taking it that way. Only when in 2016, I mean, I came back to Cape Town, a friend of mine said to me, you should not be waking up and popping a Valium. I was like, really? Well, I didn't know that. And then took a look at the side effects and so forth, and I was like, this explains so much, so
Mm,
much that those first 2 3 years, I don't know what I was plotting. The things I
mm,
was doing, saying, I
mm.
can't even remember a whole lot. People tell me I was doing certain things, saying certain things, and I'm like, geez, I don't like that guy. Is that what he's like? Is that what he said? Damn, no, no wonder. So it's completely, it's not an excuse, but I think, I should have spoken to doctor, or maybe I can't blame doctors, but I should have spoken to doctor and said, what's up, doc? Should I be taking Valium 3 times a day? Type of thing. I'm sure you have said not for
And
years.
no pharmacist advised you. They just carried on giving you your scripts or the doctor at the time, because
See, yeah, correct. Well said. Because I have to go and check up and follow up and get a rescript every 6 months. So again, not to blame doctors, but with the spinal cord injury, I do know that doctors say, "Are you in pain?" Which I look, neurological pain. My neuro pain is out of this world. It's something that I cannot explain to you. Literally, not every disability is the same. Not every quadriplegic is the same. I'm an incomplete quadriplegic, so it means
okay,
that I do have sensation and I do have movement. So the more I train, the more I really put the effort into, the more progress I do get. Um, but here's the but. Yeah, the but is it comes with a lot of pain. So it's extreme. If I had to explain it to you, it would be like a severe sunburn all the time. Now I'm talking your whole body. So literally, as I speak now, it feels like I've got this burning sensation running through my back of my legs, the lower back, right up my back. It just hurts. But I'm right now. I'm used to it, so I'm speaking to you with a smile on my face because this is something that's just normal. It heightens. It gets really hectic at times, and then just slightly goes down a bit. It never goes away unless smoke a bit of cannabis. Then it diminishes a bit, and that's my go-to because in all honesty, you cannot live with this pain and not have some relief of
Mhm,
some sort
mhm.
to yeah, it's
Mm.
hectic.
It's honestly, it's unimaginable. Like, I think for someone who definitely takes their body for granted, and I'll often have days where I think, shit, Ruth, you got to do more. You've been given so much. You've got to. Because listen, I'm 4'11", and I don't want to name my weight on the live, but I'm not exactly. I should be a good at least 20 kilos less than I do weigh. Um, but it's so hard to imagine the stuff that you go through. Where do you pull your strength from when, I mean, some people have a toothache and they're in a crabby mood. I mean, you're in pain all the time, right? So where do you get your inner core, your strength?
It's simple. It's my faith, number one, in God. That's
Mm-hmm,
where I get my strength from, and my wife,
mm-hmm,
number two. You know, waking up in the morning and just turning around, looking next to me, and seeing her there. That's it's how much more motivation you want to get than to try and improve yourself. Not for myself. It's not only for myself. It's for her as well. Being husband and wife, it's two to make it happen. And just seeing the stresses of life and everything, the finances and just everything is just it looks like it's all on her, which it's also on me, but the little that I'm trying to do is just so hard. So just for me to try and improve myself, it will improve her. So yeah, that's the two. Number one, God, and number two, my wife, and that's all that I need right now. If I had a child, I'm sure he or she would be in the equation. Well,
do you guys want children? Are you able to have children?
it's something we've spoken about a couple of times, and the biggest fear, in all honesty, is finances. So
Mm,
if there was financial stability, then we'd love to because we both do love kids. So it's not like
mm.
I'm no or she's going no. It's we've got a love for kids, and I really do want the little one, to follow through on my legacy because I know I'm still going to be around. I ain't going nowhere. So and also motivation again. I can only imagine. Oh gosh, another little marker. Ooh, good luck, world. But I mean, if I had to have a little dude or a little girl, I think I'll have more oomph in me, to just like, come on, get
So,
yourself.
if I can give you guys, and I hope she's listening, a bit
Yeah,
of sort of advice. Nothing, most of us that came into this world were oops, if I were to say that,
yeah,
and a Kabbalistic sort of insight is basically believing in faith and knowing that children bring their own. Not only do we believe that children choose their parents, as hard as that is in certain circumstances to understand, we choose our parents, and also we bring our own wealth into this world. Like, that's why some people just, I don't know, for some reason they might have bad luck, or they might have, or whatever it is, but your lot in life is given to you. So don't let the finances, trust me, they're friends. People, I knew someone who had literally nothing, and they had a baby, and they made it work, you
and
know
you make it happen. Yeah, no,
you know
trust me, it's it's been discussion quite a few times because there's little ones all over the place, especially I don't know if it's like our age with our friends and with my wife's sisters and families. everyone has got little kids, which is cool because we love the little ones. But then there's us, like, without. But
Mm, mm.
we'll see. We really will see
All I
what
can
happens.
say is don't let finances stop you to have children. Somehow, whether it's faith, whether it's just, people realize, okay, like you get given stuff. Like, my God, like I was given a pram, a car seat, like all these things that you think, oh my God, I have to buy, I have to do. You find things all over the place secondhand. It's really like, I don't know,
Yeah,
to bring life into this world is a
yeah.
special
I
thing.
mean, I was a miracle baby. Is something that I forgot to mention as well. I mean, I
Okay.
was the first successful reverse obtubulization in South Africa. So that was in 1985. So me and my mom were on the front cover of the Living and Loving back then. So I was literally born a cover model. Sorry, excuse us.
Sure. That's
So yeah, that's
incredible.
a very cool baby. I came out. They said it was impossible. Nothing's impossible.
Were you born in a normal hospital? Like you said you were born in 1985 during apartheid and your mom was colored
Yeah,
and your dad was considered white. So,
it was. Yeah, I was born in St. Augustine's in Durban at the time. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was really difficult. Because I mean I've heard different stories, along the way of my upbringing where the police used to come knocking on the door, saying to my dad, "I believe there's a black woman in the house," and it's hectic. It was pretty not cool. I mean, those are things I heard. I didn't see for myself. I probably did, and not that it's affecting me right now because yeah, I'm good. I'm cool.
Cool. And I'm sure like everybody you have your good days and you have your bad days. But you still training, which I find, and I think you're a role model to so many.
Yeah, thanks. No, you have to keep on going. Training is so important. People don't realize it. Training saved my life, and training is saving my life right now. Because the doctor said to me that I wouldn't be alive if it wasn't for my body. Literally, how strong my body was. He said if you didn't have the muscle maturity and the strength that you had, you probably wouldn't have made it. Your chest should have been crushed. So
Mm,
yeah, it was. Thank goodness for the training. And even now, I mean, in 2017, thanks to Walking with Brandon Foundation, I trained up for what it took me about a year, and I managed to get onto my feet and take a couple of steps. The best I've walked so far is for 20 minutes, 21 minutes.
wow.
So yeah, believe it or not, this quadriplegic can take a couple of steps. Not right now because I need to get back into the rhythm of things. I haven't been training for a while, but life hits you. Life gets in the way of anything. Not everything's
Mhm.
perfect. You can't keep it smooth sailing all the time. No, there's always rough seas. It's just how you navigate your way through it. Yeah,
Do you ever get angry with, like I said, like with people taking for granted? Do you
frustration.
find like with your emotions, like normal, like on an average day, I think I get pissed off with stupid things. But I mean, do you look at someone and go, God,
It's
I
more
don't know.
frustration. It's more of a frustration. Through when I first had my accident and my injury in
Mm,
hospital, I was an absolute tycoon, like crazy. I remember that, but I know why now. But back then, I was just flicking and screaming and carrying on. Just not understanding things. And when you do it in hospital, don't do that in hospital. The nurses will not like you even more. Trust me, if you want water, the more you scream, it does not mean that water is coming to you any quicker, or if it's
no.
going to come to you at all, something like that.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
I learned so much about not only myself but how to treat others. So much. So communication skills I thought I had before my accident. Damn, I
Hmm.
learned so much more afterwards. It's how way you speak to people, how you speak to people. They don't know your pain. So just
Mm,
because you're going through pain, just because I'm going through pain, doesn't mean that I must just go, but you don't understand, da, 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 da. Fair enough, the person doesn't understand, but they will never understand. A person like yourself, you will never understand. I can tell you. I can tell
mm,
people, okay, imagine this, imagine that. It's still, you still won't get it. And it doesn't matter. We all go through different things.
Yeah.
It's not that you need to. You don't have to. But it's just an understanding. Yeah.
Hmm. I mean,
So
I
really
think
appreciate
it takes, I look at some people I know, and I think the level of emotional maturity
it.
to be in a situation where you are frustrated every day and just live through it and carry on and be the good oak that you are. I mean, you're always friendly, you always,
I
trying to
try.
keep upbeat.
I
You
try. I really do try. I can say it is difficult, like anyone can say. Life is not easy, and I'm definitely not putting pity party or saying, because I'm disabled and because I'm going through pain and because I have these stresses, I'm better or say worse off than anyone else. Trust me, I think about yes, I'm going through difficult times, but what about the quadriplegic that is in the townships that hasn't got a mattress or warm bed like I do, that hasn't got a partner that wakes up to like I do, and the support that I have. I think about those, and like driving past, townships and stuff like that. I look and it breaks my heart to think there has to be there has to be at least 20 wheelchairs, in there at bare minimum. But how are they surviving? How are they getting the medical supplies? That's what running through my head. How are they? Because it's difficult for me, and I've got a lot of support, and I've got a lot of people, that can help me and get things, so forth. And it's still difficult for me. So I can only imagine if you don't have the support and you are just doof in the middle of a township. And so, yeah, that's what really grinds me as well, is knowing that
Mhm.
there are people so much worse off. I mean, at the robots, when I see guys in the wheelchair rolling up, they don't
Mm.
know that I'm also in a chair, but when they roll up to me, and for me to be unable to give them anything, I literally, even though I know there's nothing, I look around and be like, shit, you know,
Mm.
you know, if
Mm.
only, we can't save the whole world. No one can save the
No.
world. And
I
as
say
much as we want to,
charity starts at home. Charity, you know,
yeah, that's it.
you've got to.
That's very
I mean, there's a guy in one of the neighborhoods that I drive through every day as well. He was obviously born with some sort of congenitive. I mean, he's one arm, whether it's some form of multiple sclerosis, but his one arm is deformed, and he sits there with a stick, and it's heartbreaking. And the other day, I was able to give him something, and I put posts on the group, but I think about his daily life, and it's
mm,
just, I mean, he
yeah,
sat there the one day in the sun. It was one of the hottest days here in Gauteng, and he's sitting there hoping for a handout. And I'm thinking to myself, what does he do if he needs to go to the bar? I mean, I know this is depressing, but I
go with
just want
that.
people to realize
To wake
what
up. It's a wake up
like
call.
the fact that we can take a breath, the fact that we can maybe see or
Right?
hear or whatever little thing we do, it's God given. I mean,
100%. 100%. 100%.
mm.
Gotta
I mean,
appreciate
even
it.
ganja. I see here Patrick says Marco and Ruth like ganja. Very the good stuff. Um, so yeah, I don't know. I've been now that everything's fair game in South Africa. It's crazy. It's like we've
Yeah.
now had, you know. I sometimes try jelly now and again. Have you ever tried jellies? Or is it
Oh, yeah.
something
No,
edibles?
don't agree. Whole lot. Jane Cape Town, I don't know about in Johannesburg, but there's so many dispensaries and cool spots to just hang out in. Sorry, not in. It's just, yeah,
Ach,
it's
lekker.
very cool. But some people still have a stigma about it. But, in all honesty,
Devil
alcohol,
slide. It's devil slide.
alcohol is poison, guys. Alcohol is a poison, not
Yeah.
cannabis.
Yeah. No, I think alcohol is seriously underrated in terms of people don't
Sure.
think it's a drug. People don't think. Say that again. You broke the signal tonight. You must excuse, guy. Everybody, the signal tonight seems a little bit out of tune.
Yeah,
It's not so strong. Say that again.
I say it causes so much more destruction.
Mm,
Alcohol causes so much destruction.
mm,
I mean, yeah.
yeah. It
Just
literally ruins lives. Ruins lives. Like, I
don't
don't
want
know
to say
if you,
too much, but my accident, it wasn't, yeah, it ruins lives.
it ruins lives. And like I've listened to a lot of Jordan Peterson. I've got his book, still trying to get through a lot of it. Um, but he just says, if you have to introspect, if you are drinking to self medicate, you need to take stock and stop. You know, um, because that's one thing that is completely. If you are waking up in cases and you don't even know how the hell you got there, you need to stop. So yeah, but
Yeah.
let's get back. What is your favorite time of day?
Waking up. Look, a lot of people, my wife will probably disagree, but yeah, waking up in the morning, it's that's my favorite time of day. To be honest with you, and I also get to go into Cliff Central, as you know. So yeah, listening to the show, it wakes me up, gets me more informed, gets me in tune. I feel a part of a community. Lying in bed most days is like I feel like yes, I do have friends, I do have support, but in the morning, that group there is awesome. It's damn cool.
Yeah, no, it's definitely. I just realized. I think I closed the dog. To carry on talking, I can hear you. So,
Yeah,
and what do you? What else do you love to do, or that you've started doing?
oh, oh yes, yeah, no, that's with the in terms of the bodybuilding industry. So I've gotten more back involved with the bodybuilding industry, with the IFBB BBSA, and I've started up the wheelchair division. Finally, again, so being disabled, I was going to shows. And in 2017, I went to the Arnold Africa in Johannesburg, and I saw the wheelchair guys from all over the world. They came, the international team, and I literally had tears in my eyes watching them. So meeting them afterwards, I spoke to the winner, Kong, and he's the world champion at the moment now, still 5 times. And speaking to him, he said to me, "You know what, Marco? Follow your passion. Continue doing what you used to do. Continue training." I said to him, "But look at me. I mean, can I ever compete? Look at the skinny." I was like, "Really?" It was like, as long as you can move, which you can train. As long as you can do that, you can compete. So I took his words, and 2 years later, I rolled onto stage um, with my skinny ass, and yeah, I competed twice, and it was pretty cool. So it wasn't with the
Awesome.
IFP, it was the different shows, and I just felt that I wanted to push it a lot harder, a lot more with the recognized SASCOP recognized federation. So I've joined them. So yeah, working alongside the IFBB is really awesome, and I'm very excited for that moving forward.
Okay,
Because there's
brilliant.
yeah,
When is the next sort of championship, or you got to get ready? Because it takes months, right? Like, it's not just you
not me. No,
sign
no,
up
no.
next week.
I'm not competing. I'm not competing there. See, I'm the chairman, so I'm organizing it. I'm making sure I'm finding
Okay.
competitors. I found a few competitors already around the country, and to get them, I'm assisting them to get onto stage. It's not about me. It's not about me anymore. I'm so tired of that. It's about helping others, getting them to get onto the stage. So that's where I'm at now. So I'm behind the scenes. I'm getting corporates involved. I'm trying to get sponsors involved, just to help
Okay.
the athletes get on stage because it's not easy. Not just training wise. I mean, geez, getting the finance to gym memberships and then
Sure.
supplementation and flights to the show. Then there's accommodation. There's a whole lot to it. So
Mm, mm,
and trust me, not everyone can afford even an able person to compete. Never mind disabled. So
mm.
trying to really give the opportunity for people in wheelchairs to get roll onto the stage and make it happen. It's fun. It's fun. Just do it.
Yeah. No, for sure. I'm just checking comments there. But so, I mean, okay, so you love the mornings, and do you feel your life has changed sort of purpose? Do you feel
Definitely. No, without a doubt. Without a doubt. Back then it was more all about me, 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 me. And
Mhm.
just realize no, there's more to life. You gotta focus on the loved ones, the ones that actually love you, the ones that show love and you love. You just gotta keep that going. So yeah, I've rebuilt relationships with my family. things weren't great at all. After a while, just miscommunication. That's all it really was. And rebuilding
Mm.
that again is awesome. And then my wife, she came into my life in 2018. She met me as I am in my wheelchair, and she's just made things a whole lot better along the way. That's for sure. She
No,
proposed to me
awesome.
6 months after we had met. Did not expect that. That was on Valentine's Day. You really, what male expects your partner to propose to you? As you know, especially on Valentine's Day of all the days, it comes to me. I was like, oh well, definitely yes. And yeah, where do we go from there? So we got married a year later, and yeah, now we're 3 years married. So
Sure.
yeah, you can fall in love with me as I am, the crazy dizzy person like this. So in answering that question, I'm a way better person now, and I think I've got way more to offer to the world. You know, the message that sometimes I bring, I say sometimes because I speak my mind a lot, and guess sometimes it may get me into trouble, but I know there's a message that's always positive, that's understood. So yeah,
No, for sure. I think you should be teaching, the one thing I realized they don't teach us in school is how do you deal with your emotions, how do you deal with your anger, your pain, your things that happen to you in life that we can't predict, that we can't handle. And I think if there are ways to teach young people how to handle their emotions, how to handle a situation that is not in your control, because the
yeah.
worst thing to see is an adult having a freaking temper tantrum about bullshit. Like, it's like,
That is definitely for sure. Emotional intelligence, that is definitely. You know, one of my favorite lessons at school was LO, life orientation. You know, I hated school. Loved PE, loved LO, loved break time. That's it. You know, everything else didn't matter.
yeah. Sure. And then, obviously now with all, I think we're living in incredible times. There's, I mean, we talk about ganja. There's also a lot of research about shrooms. I mean, okay, they're technically still illegal, but I met a guy who also, I met him once. I'm still trying to track him down. He also couldn't walk at all for like a year. He was on morphine and he started taking shrooms, and his entire life changed. I saw him. He's walking. I'm not, I mean, not with spinal cord research. I don't know how far they've come, especially now with AI.
Yeah.
Um, Obviously, you've looked into it.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. I've looked into many, many, many things. So has my wife as well. She does more research than I do, believe it or not, into my own stuff. You know, she always says you should be researching more on yourself, but I'm researching more on you. I'm like, ah, okay, love you. I'm not the academic, but okay. But yes, there's so much exciting stuff out there that's to come in the future within paralysis. My gosh, again, that's what keeps me going. Another thing, it's not only my faith and my wife, but I know, I know what's coming soon, and it is soon. We're not even looking before 2030, so it's within the next 5 years. You know, there's developments that will does reverse, believe it or not, does reverse paralysis, and
Mm,
it's not easy to get all the while to get hold of those people to get there or to get at that point of becoming a participant or candidate. But mark my words and trust in me, I'm definitely, definitely, most definitely, I'm going to be one of those candidates.
I
And
believe you. I believe you.
I've got such everything that I've set my mind to, I've achieved every single thing. And people that know me personally, if you're out, if you're listening, you know me personally, you know if I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to achieve it, I'm going to make it happen. Again, if you know me personally, you know that it's going to happen. And this is one thing without a doubt in my mind, within the next 5 years, I will be up on my feet and I'll be stronger than I was before. So again, it sounds crazy, but I'm glad this is on YouTube that I can go back and say, check this out. He says he's going to do it again. I will be back on my feet and I will be more than walking. I'll be running, swimming, jogging, a whole lot more.
Amen. I'm wishing for you.
Possibly better than most humans can at this moment, and mentally as strong as well. But
Now,
yeah,
listen.
that's to come. That's to come. That's in the near future. In the near future.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Well, guys, if you want to see more of his journey, tell us it's Marco Petrosky on Instagram.
Yeah, Marco Petrowski _SA, and
Mm-hmm.
you can find me there or on Facebook or on my website as well, www.iammarcopetrowski.co.za.
Okay. No, look, I'm flabber. I really believe you will, and you can. And you know what? You know what's so incredible is that, I mean, 50 years ago they were saying we can't this, we can't that. Um, we can't, we couldn't. Like 100 years ago, it was we were, or 200 years ago, like flying, please. Now
Yeah.
it's one of the most,
Or looking at a cell
used
phone and speaking to someone
transportation.
in every country, it's crazy. It's just, yeah.
So many things. I mean, what they're doing with medicine and medical advances. My mother was sort of looking at getting a hip replacement recently, and I just looked into some of the techniques that they do. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing how
Mind
they.
blowing. Yeah, completely mind blowing. Technology is making things so much faster, so much easier, so much more efficient. It is ridiculous. So yeah, medical advancement within the next 5 years is crazy, insane.
Yeah. No, I think you, in a way, you blessed as well. And like I said about the kitty winks, I think money should. It is a concern, obviously. I mean, look, last night I was praying may the best debit order win, and nothing sort of like comes back at you, like you know,
Yeah,
when you have that regurgitation, like nothing flies back at you and like
I
is
don't,
denied.
yeah. I
Like
don't,
that feeling. But I believe God provides,
always,
always.
definitely.
Hey, and it's hard to have faith, and it's
It's got to keep the faith. Got to keep
keep
the faith. You have to
keep the
absolutely.
faith.
That's
Amen.
one thing. I've also I had tattooed on my leg before my accident is I walk by faith before my accident, and yeah, it's just the irony. A lot of the tattoos on my body that I got before my accident, it's just like how the big phoenix on my chest, looking to the eyes of a warrior on my chest as well. It's just a whole lot of on my arm. I got I'm powerful beyond measure in Polish, and just very like wow every time I think about certain things like it's led to this moment. Things were meant to happen. The accident wasn't a tragedy. It was meant to happen. A lot of people
Mm,
need to see it that way. It should happen. It does happen, and you can get upset, frustrated, and be like, "Why?" But there is always a reason why. God knows
mm,
why. You'll never know why. He always knows
mm,
why. It's got to keep the
mm,
faith and keep going as shit as may seem. Damn, this storm is cut or whatever. Like it will end. That's the thing. That's the way I see it. Even in pain, I'm like when I go to excruciating pain, I always tell my wife, I'm like, love, it's all go away. It will diminish. It won't be this bad all the time. And that's just the way I see it. It's not always shit. Things do get
this too
better.
shall.
And it's also up to you. It's up to you. It's up to your mindset. Yeah.
There's also a saying that says, "This too shall pass," and nothing, unfortunately, nothing lasts forever. Whether it's good or bad, it doesn't last forever. It will always come to an end. But
Always.
always.
Don't,
But I think
don't,
I'm really blown away by what you've been through and your story.
thank you.
And hopefully it inspires me. What, like, you've changed your life, obviously you've had to change your lifestyle. How do you keep your body healthy? Like, how do you, like,
Keep it.
healthy in the sense of,
Okay, I try. Look, my wife was it's just true. I need to put on weight. I've lost so much weight. So I do need to eat more. But in the spinal cord injury, it's so difficult. It's so difficult to figure out, what is the right things to do. But at the moment, right now, I eat anything and everything. What I should be doing is having more meals. I need to be eating more and supplementation. Yes, I'm with USM. I love the brand. I use certain products to help me with recovery, like glutamine, like creatine monohydrate, and stuff like that. Some protein as well to replenish some muscle loss. Meal
mhm,
replacement as well. If I can't get a meal in, drink a meal. Yeah, it's always a good one. Whole food gainer. So
Okay.
supplementation has got its place. So yeah,
Look, I know that it's a very expensive lifestyle. Um, but yeah,
but
I think
it really
it
does. It
does
has
get.
its place. If you
But
want to get the yeah,
when we off the stream, we'll talk more about getting corporates for you. We got to organize the corporates.
but
We got a
that'd be,
plan.
that'd be awesome. But yeah, thank
So
you.
yeah,
It's really awesome. Yeah, chatting with you. Always seeing your comments there on the chat and on the Club Central. Like, sure, Ruth's
yeah.
busy. I don't have much function on my hands. I don't know if you know. So
Okay, I
for
don't
me,
know.
the job is like takes me forever. So if you ever see a comment or if I ever do send long messages, it's taken me a while to get there.
Okay, okay,
Yeah.
that's sure. That's amazing. Yeah, you see, it's also I prefer to voice note. Like I phoned in the other day and I was like, yeah, no, like I'd rather I've had people misunderstand me in my maybe I don't use my grammar so well, like my my commas and my what are those things punctuation that goes out the window when I get triggered. Um,
I'm
so
exactly the same. But
I prefer
words, you can hear the tone, how you say certain things. Yeah, I
mm,
agree with you. Can relate.
no for sure. But yeah, cool. Hang on for when we click off. But thanks everybody for joining. And yeah, thank you really for sharing your story with us.
No,
Really, really appreciate it. Cool.
thank you for having me on.
Hang on there. I'm going to just say goodbye to everybody. Goodbye, Patrick. Goodbye, Arbart, Debbie. Cheers, Nick. Thanks, Hindu. Thanks, everybody, for joining. Shani. Cool, guys. See you again. Bye.